Most people think they're building a smart investment portfolio, but if you're holding more than one ETF, there's a good chance you're making at least one of these three mistakes, and the last one can be very expensive. Mistake number one is you're buying the same thing twice and don't even know it. Let me give you a real example. Let's say you own both QQQ or QQQM and VGT. QQQ is one of the most popular ETFs out there, and it tracks the index called the NASDAQ 100, which is very tech and AI heavy. And VGT is a straight up technology ETF. They might sound different, but when you actually look at the holdings within them, over 50% of the money by weight is sitting in the same three companies: Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia. So you might be thinking you're spreading your money across two different investments and that means you're diversifying, but you're actually just buying the same thing twice. Now, owning great companies twice isn't fundamentally a disaster. So if you want to own more Apple or more Nvidia, then go right ahead. The mistake is not knowing that that's what you're doing. Because if Apple drops 20%, then you're not just losing that once, you're losing that twice. And if you didn't plan for that, that's when the panic sets in and you might sell at the bottom. Mistake number two is thinking that more ETFs automatically means more safety. So in one of my other videos, I talked about an old investment strategy where there was this 3-fund portfolio into US stocks, international stocks, and bonds. You had one of each and you were nice and spread out. That sounds smart, but if you look at the actual numbers over what's happened in the last 10 years, it's a very different situation. A basic US total stock market ETF like VTI averages around 11% annual return per year. An international ETF like VXUS is around 3%, and a bond ETF is around 1.3% per year. So if you had $10,000 spread out evenly across those three ETFs, the bonds and international funds dragged your portfolio down dramatically. You could have just owned VTI and done significantly better. So the key here is that more funds does not equal more safety. Sometimes it just equals more mediocrity, honestly. So make sure you understand why you're adding a position to your portfolio before you actually add it. And mistake number three is the one that costs people the most money, and that is constantly changing your portfolio every time you learn or hear about something new. So here's how it usually goes. You start with VTI, and then you see somebody's video online talking about QQQ, so you add that. Then someone on Reddit says that international stocks are about to take off, and so you add in VXUS. Then you hear bonds are making a comeback, so you add in BND. 3 months later, your portfolio looks like alphabet soup, and you have no idea why you own any of it. The problem isn't that you're learning and adjusting. That's actually a good thing. The problem is copying someone else's portfolio without understanding your own situation first. So for example, a finance creator might say that REITs are the best investment out there. And they might not be wrong, but if that same creator also owns 2 rental properties, adding REITs would just overload their portfolio with real estate risk. So what's right for them isn't automatically right for you. Your portfolio has to match your timeline, your goals, and your risk tolerance, not anybody else's. So before you add your next ETF to your portfolio, ask yourself these 3 questions. 1, do I already own this? 2, do I know why I'm adding it? 3, does it actually fit my goals? Once you answer those 3 questions, based on your answers, that will give you the decision on whether you should invest in it or not. Hope this was helpful. Leave any questions in the comments and follow for more investing and personal finance content. I also have a free weekly newsletter. You can find the link to sign up at the top of my page in my bio.